Ani, bonjour, kwekwe, tanzi, scano. Hello, greetings, hi. It's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, Canada, bringing you 44 years of working in the mystery at Moonstarlodge. And I've been working with tarot since 1972. In terms of reading for others and collecting. So I have been a knowledge gatherer about tarot systems from all over the world now, with a collection of about 1900 decks. It's so big I have to keep a library software of it. That's okay. I talked a lot last week about the season change. I'm not going to talk about that. I am using the same decks as last week's video, and if I haven't said already, it covers the 23rd to the 29th of March. Hard to believe I'm talking about that already. So without further ado, old pirate Bob over there, let's go to the cards. So here we have the major line, the central line, and it's the Magical Hours Tarot this week. And the other clarifiers come from the other decks that are in the picture that I always post every week, so you know what decks I'm using. Anyway, very beautiful art. Still the ladies with the trees growing out of their head and such. We start with the Two of Cups. Now last week we had the Lovers, and the Lovers is more of the karmic version of the Two of Cups. This is about balance and pairings and yin and yang and choices and being at peace. Twos are about the balancing, and perspective is in there big time. And it's also a little bit about healing. I hope the tarot police don't jump on that. However, that's how I feel. If we are in balance, we feel healed and well. So it starts out with the same theme as one of the cards from last week. And it's clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. So let's see which way the Wheel of Fortune is going to take us as it relates. Now, the wheel rocks back and forth. We have to expect, at least as it applies to this card, that, you know, sometimes relationship with self is out of balance, sometimes relationship with others is out of balance, but it always comes back. It always works itself out. It's followed by the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is looking forward. The Knight of Cups is energy, empathy, power. There's intuition here. We think a lot about emotion and love with cups, but what we forget is cups also is about natural psychic abilities. Sorry, I just moved the table. The Knight of Cups is using their psychic abilities. We are in Looks Far Woman, which is the grandmother of psychic capacity and clairvoyance and all of those good things. It's clarified by Keys on Trees. This is not a tarot card. This is an oracle. And the Keys on Trees card is quite interesting. There's an elephant at the very top. I'm going to read you this. This is a fun card. This has come up a few times in my life. It's believe in yourself, solutions and creativity. On the top of a winding, shiny metal tower, there is an elephant captured in a cage. A vast jungle of giant trees and plants surrounds him, but the elephant is not distressed. There are keys hanging from the trees. If he picks one, he can open the cage and release himself into the wild. No situation is too complicated to be solved. Look in unexpected places for answers, you have the creativity to find the way out. Well, it's not just the creativity that because this is a very creative element, Cubs. It's not just about creativity. This knight is looking ahead at all possibilities, and we are protected by this archetype. The elephant is being protected, and the elephant is protecting the knight. So if the knight comes across something on the earth journey that isn't solvable, the elephant will solve it. And we come to the emperor. Dude, you're out there, Jason. The emperor is flying high here, and another bird. We have authority, and he's facing the knight. So they're communicating here. I don't see them looking backward as going backward. I see this as they're communicating. The emperor here is about authority, overseeing the dominion, overseeing everything that's needs to be assessed and planned about. But this is a smart emperor. Emperors are always able to multitask. Most men can't, but this emperor can. Anyway, I said that tongue-in-cheek for my males in the audience, Dean. The clarifier here is go dark. So what they're saying here is keep your cards close to your chest, so to speak. Whatever plans, excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip here. Whatever plans this emperor has for the kingdom, why don't you just keep them a little bit close to self, okay? So withdraw, pull into self, and do your planning by yourself, for yourself. Don't involve others. Don't involve necessarily institutions, although the emperor can be involved in that. But the emperor is responsible for the institutions, but he's keeping, or she is keeping, their plans to themselves. This is a beautiful card, the Ace of Wands. So we had the Ace of Wands last week as well, telling us there are new beginnings popping up like those tulips and daffodils coming up for April. We have to be vigilant about this. Her eyes are on the ground. And that's fine. We're watching our steps, and we're being careful. This is about watching our steps and being private. This is about waiting a little bit for things to present themselves. But we also have to go after opportunities. So that's co-creative analysis. And it's clarified by the card Rhythms. This says being grounded. So groundedness, nature, and earth. And it is rhythms. We know that the seasons have rhythms. This explosion comes after the dormancy that winter brings. And it comes on really fairly quickly, if you think about it. So we don't have to worry that if we don't think we see the new opportunities of the fire in the belly coming, they are coming. Six of Swords was also in last week's, and that was this exact card, actually. She's holding the moon in her hands, and she's still perceiving how best to use the intuition of the moon now that she's in a safe place. So we are to look at how we are safe in whatever situation or situations that we've sailed through. Because as I mentioned last week, in the reading. The 5s in tarot are usually tumultuous and difficult. And we have another 5 here today. So whether it's a financial difficulty, a relationship difficulty, a work difficulty, it doesn't matter. We're on the other side of it. We use our intuition, and we're going to have that perspective that comes from just looking back over it and seeing how we've grown, what we've learned. It's clarified by summer dreaming. So we manifest what we dream about. If we dream or think cognitively with anxiety, we're just going over old things that happened in high school in 1963, or we are going to the future with our thoughts and manifesting and being. This groundedness precipitates. Groundedness helps us co-create. So it's connected to this card because now that we're out of having to be focused on some difficulty or other, or series of difficulties, now we can look to the future. We need to live in the present, but we can spend some time preparing and knowing what we need for some beautiful summer. The world is our oyster. The world is the end of the karmic cycle. And so we go from, with all that we're doing here in the last 2 weeks, we are fulfilling something that's karmic and done. It's clarified here by a very odd card that, relative to this message, I asked Brian to douse and double check. The 5 of Pentacles is a feeling of being disconnected and lost. That's a warning, actually, from Spirit. We aren't disconnected and lost unless we allow ourselves to be. Don't dwell on what was. Know that, she could look through those windows into the light, and she could go and find the door, and she could enter. For entering the light is a little bit different than what this card is depicting. Well, no, it isn't. It's not really different. But what I'm saying is Spirit is warning us. We've come to the end of the cycle. Don't bring our old fears and sense of separateness from Source with us into the next cycle, because there is a next cycle. We've been shown with 3 or 4 cards over the last 2 weeks that new things are coming. The final card of the week is the Hanged Man. Again, perspective. Again, letting go, being kind of forced by circumstance, so we can't move any faster than circumstance is allowing. So we might as well look at what's going on from a new perspective. It's like looking at something that you've looked at every day and not really paid attention. And then suddenly you're looking and seeing that face on the pillow beside you, or that something, as if you're seeing that for the first time. When you can do that, when you can own that, it brings the greatest love flushing through. And that's what we need to see. It is the same life. We live in the same house. We have the same kids and pets and partners. When we can look at them from a new perspective, when we can look at our opportunities, just our personal opportunities, from new perspectives, it brings a great sense of connection and love from Source, because that's what Source is. Consciousness that contains pure love. That's a very powerful spring reading. Spirit was talking to me. You can flip the camera, Brian. Spirit was talking to me about how people do the Hallmark card thing of, happy flowers. Like this card here is all happy flowers and butterflies and bumblebees, blah, blah, blah. But what Spirit told me is what the seeds are coming from a dark, hard, cold place. As the sun hits them, their bodies are ripping the skin off, that outer coating of the seed or the corm. And it's not like a snake. The snake sheds its skin because it's old and too small. It's not painful. But apparently, seeds find this painful. Corms, bulbs, find this painful. It's dark, but they have a sense, some level of consciousness, and we know that from Bernard Grad's studies in the 1970s at University in Quebec. They go through being torn open, torn apart, but when they do, they break through and see the light. It's a pretty ripping, literally, metaphor for what goes on. We need to see things from different perspectives. When our spirit gets torn open to see something expansive, there is no pain. On the physical, there might be a little emotional release, but it's freeing. That's what spring is. Anyway, as always, I thank you for your time, your comments. Your comments help so much with this algorithm. Your likes, your subscribing, your coffee, all the information on how to get us. You just click on the title of the video. It tells you how to get a hold of us if you don't know already. We love it. We love connecting with you. It gives us the motivation to keep going. So have a blessed, nearly the end of March, aho, and peace.